Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Really glad for you to be joining me this evening on how to survive a sugar detox. I'm going to be giving you 7 foolproof ways, inshallah. And I'm live here every Saturday evening, 6 p.m. UK time. So inshallah, if you're after bite-sized health information that's relevant to busy mums with kids and families, then this is the place you want to be, inshallah, every Saturday evenings. I know sometimes the timing can be a bit awkward for people, so I just want you to let you know that they are recorded and you can catch up with the ones that you've missed on my YouTube channel, which is Organic All Round. And the one with the logo is the one that you want to click on. And you'll be able to catch up on all the ones that we've done. We've done some really good ones in the past. We did a whole kind of series on Unani Tib. And my co-host is also here with me. I have Lisa, who's in the audience, and inshallah maybe Ruqayya will be jumping on too. So they are also experts in their field. Lisa is a skin specialist, and she also makes her own organic products from the United States. So inshallah she'll be jumping on in a bit just to give you her little insight, inshallah. And Ruqayya is a hijama and Unani Tib expert, and I don't know if she'll be in the room today, but inshallah if she is, then she'll give you her input, inshallah. So the title of today's mini lecture is How to Survive a Sugar Detox. Okay, 7 foolproof ways. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Faria Wali Muhammad. You might see me online under the handle Healthful Wellness Coach. I also have a blog at www.organicallround.com, and that's also my product-based business name too. So I'm a certified health and wellness coach and soon to be a nutrition coach too, inshallah. So health coaches, because I get asked this quite often, what do health coaches do? So we are here to really help you, guide you on your health journey, going at your pace, inshallah, and helping you really attain those health goals that you really strive to achieve. We're there to hold your hand, to give you advice, guidance, accountability, and just kind of, clear all that noise of information that's out there. So that's what a health coach does. I'm hoping that today, inshallah, after this session, that you are going to leave having some practical tips that you can implement to give up sugar easily. Because I know that we're all busy, right? We've all got very busy lives. We don't really have a lot of time to do many, many things. So the advice and the tips that I like to give are ones that are really practical, but really simple. And this is what my bite-sized information sessions on these Saturday evenings are all about. Things that you can go away and implement straight away and really start seeing a transformation in your health. Right, just a little disclaimer, inshallah. So the information I'm sharing with you today is being provided to you for educational and informational purposes only. It is being provided to educate you about how to take care of your body and as a self-help tool for your own use so that you can reach your own health goals. It is not intended to treat or cure any specific illness, and it is not to replace the guidance provided by your own medical practitioner. This information is to be used at your own risk based on your own judgment. If you suspect that you have a medical problem, I urge you to take appropriate action by seeking medical attention. Just have to put that out there, okay? Okay, so just a little bit more information about me for those of you who don't really know me very well. I've been on a wellness journey with my family for the past 8 years, and the main thing that really spurred us into action was when my youngest at the time all of a sudden developed eczema. Came totally out of the blue. She was around 2.5 years old. She wasn't born with it, and we were just at our wits' end, really. I mean, it wasn't anything that we'd experienced with our other children, and it wasn't really something that we wanted to go to our GP about, because we had a bit of a bad experience with our GP. and other kind of conditions with our children. So we just thought, oh no, what are we going to do? So we tried the things that parents usually do when their kids start suffering with eczema. She would be itching, crying, really uncomfortable. We tried the creams and this kind of stuff, but we knew we didn't want to give her steroids and stuff like that. We already knew that, though we were really at the beginning of our journey. And alhamdulillah, after seeking some advice and looking things up, by the permission of Allah, it completely healed. And we only made changes in her diet. We looked at what we were putting on her skin, and we also used homeopathy. And alhamdulillah, it has never come back since. After just one kind of relapse, it never came back. And that was around 8 years ago, alhamdulillah. So this really opened our eyes to a whole new world of how diet could really make a drastic change in your health, and it really improving it. And we haven't looked back since. I mean, from there, we took up our product-based business, and then health coaching was just kind of like an extension of what I was doing already, which was serving the local community. And I believe that health coaching is just another way to do that, and to kind of get on a deeper level with them, really help our Muslim sisters achieve their health goals, and, deal with things in a holistic way. Right, so let's dive in, inshallah. Questions. Yeah, so you can put your comments, questions in the chat box. And if you're watching this on a replay, you can mention replay and message me anywhere that you are now watching this. So if that's on Facebook, then just send me a message if you have any questions, or you can do that by the comment section on the YouTube channel, inshallah. Okay, so sugar. Something that I hear sisters talk about a lot, and how it is a bit of a struggle for them, being addicted to it, or just finding that they don't really know what alternatives are. And it is something where nowadays our sugar consumption has just flown off the charts, basically. Unfortunately, even in conservative amounts, sugar is still going to have a very harmful effect on the body. I mean, even in the UK, where they've introduced like a sugar tax, it hasn't actually made things any better, right? And this is the problem. And why do we have this problem? So the highest consumers of sugar on the planet are actually those in the US compared to any other nation. And just to give you an idea of the recommendation that the NHS in the UK provides, they state adults shouldn't be having more than 30 grams, which is about 7 sugar cubes or 7 teaspoons a day, right? This is what they recommend, and I'm talking about added sugars here, right? Not natural sugars. Children aged between 7 and 10, they shouldn't be having any more than 6 teaspoons, and obviously age 4 to 6, it should be under 5 teaspoons, and those under that age group shouldn't be having it at all. But the thing with these figures, I mean, I personally believe they're still quite high, okay? 7 teaspoons a day for adults, okay, of added refined sugar they're talking about here, and that is a lot. If you think about what you're actually consuming in a day, maybe it's more than that. What about your kids? What are they having of added sugars every single day? Can you share this meeting? Yes, Alicia, you can. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And if you, ladies, you are able to see my slides, right? Can someone just mention if you're able to see my slides in the chat? Yes or no? Yes, yeah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, sis. Okay, appreciate it, ladies. Jazakallah khair. Okay. So some people say, well, we should be having everything in moderation, right? Surely we can have sugar in moderation. Well, this is the problem that a lot of us don't really understand, and that's that sugar isn't a food group, right? It's not dairy. It's not a carb, okay? It's not carbohydrates that we consider as good carbs in that sense, right? It's not a fat. okay? So it isn't something that, you know, it's not protein. It's not something, it's not considered to be a macronutrient. It's not something that we can say, hey, you know, we can just cut back and have this in moderation. That isn't the case. We can cut this out. Now, you may have heard like some people say, oh, you know, you can't, why are you removing this whole food group from your diet? Okay, but sugar doesn't come into that. That's one thing that we have to understand, that this added white refined sugar can be cut from our diet quite easily, you know, without us thinking that we're actually missing out on something. Now, when we're talking about natural sugars, because there are a lot of natural sugars out there that our body can deal with, and, you know, in a better way, inshallah. I'm talking about the natural sugars that are found in fruits and vegetables, okay? But the reason why that is better is that it's not on its own, okay? It has the fiber of the fruit, it has other elements in there too, and this is why it's considered natural sugar. This is why it's considered and regarded to be better for us, okay? Now, the one thing that you have to realize is that the white refined sugar is highly addictive, and this is why many people truly believe that they cannot survive without it, okay? It affects us on a cellular level in our brain, okay? It actually causes a chemical reaction in the brain, and this is why many people really struggle to give it up, okay? A 2007 study on rats, okay? So they gave rats cocaine, okay? And they actually made the rats addicted to cocaine. Then they took the cocaine away, okay? Then they gave the rats a choice of either cocaine or sugar. 94% of the rats in the study chose sugar, okay? So it's to that extent. So you can see why some people really find that they are addicted. They really do, okay? So what does this white refined sugar actually do to us, okay? The problem with it is that it doesn't offer any nutrients, okay? None at all, okay? And I'm talking about the white refined sugar here, okay? In fact, it actually pulls nutrients, minerals like calcium and magnesium out of the body, all right? And these are the things that it does to the body. So it creates this addictive response in the brain, okay? It stresses out your liver, okay? And it causes it to store extra fat there. Now, this third issue of it affecting leptin negatively, leptin is the hormone that's responsible for controlling your hunger and your satiety, right? So, you know, that feeling of being full, right? When that becomes negatively affected, you think you're hungry when you're not, and you don't feel satisfied when you should, okay? And so you'll find that your blood sugar is yo-yoing, which is not great for you at all. That fluctuation will cause you to want to eat more, okay? So you can see where this is going, right? Because remember, a nutrient is going to really nourish your cells, right? It's going to satisfy you. Sugar is not going to do that. Sugar is an anti-nutrient. It's empty. It's not going to give you that feeling of fullness. It will give you the illusion of that feeling. And what's actually happening is you're finding yourself hungry again quickly. And why is that? It's because your cells haven't been nourished. Your cells haven't been given what they need. This is the problem that we find, okay? That people who have a lot of sugar in their diet then tend to put on weight easily because of this problem. Okay, I will get back to the questions, so do put them in, inshallah, in the chat box, and I will answer your questions, inshallah. I can see a couple there. Okay, so are the natural sources then better for us? So absolutely, they are better in the sense that they come with other minerals in them. They're not just straight white sugar. They haven't been stripped of the benefits that are usually found in them. But what you have to realize is, some people, they automatically say, hey, well, okay, I'm going to stop using the white stuff and I'll use coconut sugar, for example, or I'm just going to completely switch to maple syrup or honey all the time. Okay, and this is where the issue is, that in their mission to remove the white stuff from their diet, right, and introduce these natural sources, it's a good option to start with, no doubt about it. But what you do have to realize is that sugar is still sugar. And if you're going to go overboard and you're going to start having it in large amounts, guess what's going to happen? You're going to find yourself in a similar sort of situation where you still find yourself craving sugar, craving sweet things, okay? So that's the thing you have to realize. Your body still has to process that natural sugar too, okay? It still has to go through your liver. So I would still say to people, like, some say, hey, I'm diabetic, can I just switch over to coconut sugar? Sugar is still sugar. This is something that we need to realize, that yes, they are better, but still, everything in moderation. So let's just dive into the tips, inshallah, because I do want to keep this quite concise and compact for you this evening, like I usually have all my Saturday evening lectures, inshallah. So the first foolproof way to really survive a sugar detox, okay, so this is like removing sugar from your diet, is to realize it's just as important to add things to your diet as well as to remove them, okay? And the best way to really help your body is probably one of the easiest ways, is just to include a nutrient-dense whole foods diet. Because what will that do? That will actually truly satisfy you on a cellular level, and it will remove that urge that you have to snack on unhealthy sweet things, okay? Because you're actually nourishing yourselves. You're actually going to start to feel satisfied, okay? Sorry, just going to admit these people in. All right, so tip number 2. Okay, now this is such a simple method, okay? If it's not in your house, you won't eat it. But it's really difficult for some people to actually get to this, okay? Because we think, well, guests might come, or, just be a little treat and this kind of thing. And, I am a proponent of balance, and not saying, hey, you totally cannot have this. But if you're at the point of doing a detox, if you're at the point of, you're trying to deal with a health condition, this is a short-term thing. Doing a detox, a cleanse, or a reset is a short-term thing. And you can absolutely, when you're at the point of having everything under control, bring things back in occasionally, right? Okay, but at this point, when you're really trying to work on yourself, okay, and really heal yourself, just don't bring it into your house, because I can 100% guarantee you that if it's there, you're going to eat it, okay? And it's same with the kids, right? If they know you've got crisps, if they know you've got chocolate, they're going to ask for it. But if it's not there, they won't see it. They won't want it. And it's something that we have tried and tested in our house, and it does work. Not just for the kids as well, also for the adults in the home. Yeah, because if it's there, you're going to be more likely to crave it. Or when we've already gone to the next one. Oh, how did that happen? Okay. So whatever it is that you crave, right? If it's fizzy drinks, or if it's mini rolls, I don't know, sweets, whatever it is that is your weakness, just don't buy them, and overcrowd your fridge with healthy choices. That kind of overcrowding that you do allows you then to think, okay, hold on a second, I don't have space for this anymore. Put healthy alternatives in your house, berries, a small amount of dried fruit, increase your protein, all of these things, inshallah, are going to help. The third tip is, if you feel, oh my God, that's something I can't do, I feel like that's too cold turkey for me to suddenly not buy anything, then wean yourself. Wean yourself off it, okay? So what do I mean by that? Right, so if you're having 2 teaspoons of sugar in your tea every single day, maybe twice a day, why not cut it back to 1? See how that feels. Maybe 1.5 if you need to go slower, right? But just work on it. Actively work on it every day. And, you know, we've done this in baking at home. And alhamdulillah, it was really, really effective. So if the recipe, for example, said you have to use 2 cups of sugar in this recipe, we would use 1.5. And then slowly we would start to reduce that even until we got to an amount that was just enough for us. And, you know, we're able now to enjoy treats like maybe with just plain dark chocolate in it and just a little bit of sweetness. You know, it can be done. Alternatively, you can try to sweeten with whole fruits, or, you know, if you're having a hot drink, you know, try something else. Maybe let it cool down a bit, add a bit of honey instead. There's many ways that you can actively take steps to wean yourself off it. And I'm telling you, once you start doing it, you will feel the difference and you won't even notice, you know, that you haven't had these things in there. And even with kids, you know, if you are always adding, say, maple syrup to their porridge, for example, or always putting sugar in, try adding a banana in there instead, or some dates, okay? Any steps that you're taking towards reducing that added sugar is going to be of benefit to you, inshallah. Just do it, stick to it, and be consistent. You know, don't just like say, okay, you know, do it for like 3 days and then give up on the weekend or something like that, right? Whatever you do, inshallah, make it small steps but consistent. The next tip, right, tip number 4, is to hydrate yourself well. Okay, because many people, they don't actually drink enough water. Now, I'm not saying to you like have about 20 glasses. I'm saying to you, use your thirst as an indicator, but, you know, make sure that you are drinking, because when we're having tea and coffee, it's actually dehydrating us, and we tend to forget that we do have to then top ourselves up with water. And what I would really advise you to do is not to drink water on its own. So you should never be drinking plain water, okay? Because all you're doing simply then is just washing your system out. There isn't anything in water that is going to remineralize you. So a really good thing to do is either add, you know, a squeeze of lemon, a little pinch of salt. And if you're really struggling to drink water, like you can add things in there like mint, cucumbers, you know, fruit even, whatever it is that's going to make you enjoy drinking water. But the reason why it will help with sugar cravings is, well, firstly, usually when people get hungry, that is sometimes the body's cue for water. So, you know, the first thing that you should do if you start to feel hungry and maybe it's the middle of the day, you have had breakfast and stuff like that, try to drink maybe, you know, half a glass of water slowly, and then see how you feel. If you're still feeling hungry, then maybe it is hunger. But if not, then you know that that is an indication that your body was actually needing water. The other thing is that to actually process glycogen in the body, and glycogen is your stored energy source, right? When the body is dehydrated, it's really difficult for the liver to produce glycogen, okay? Because it needs water and glucose, okay? That's your fuel source. So when you're dehydrated, you're going to start craving sugar, okay, if you don't hydrate yourself well. Okay, so this is really important. So inshallah, you know, do try. If you're struggling with drinking water in the cold weather, then, you know, have it warm. That kind of thing really helps too. And you really want to be avoiding really cold water anyway, because it slows down digestion. The 5th tip for you to really survive without sugar, long term we're talking about here, inshallah, is to give yourself a head start by really making that first meal that you take in the mornings count. Make it as nutrient dense as possible, okay? Because the first thing that we usually do in the morning, it usually sets us up for the rest of the day. Now, if you wake up with energy and vitality, that kind of carries on through the day. If you're waking up really, moody, tired, you don't really feel like doing, something healthy or something active if you're feeling like that. Okay, so that first thing, that first meal that you have, inshallah, it will give you that encouragement to keep going, right? So a breakfast that has a high quality protein, it's got some good fats in there, and some sort of carbs in there too. It will really slam that lid of cravings shut. Okay, sometimes you find yourself having mid-morning cravings. Having a good amount of protein, especially protein, and some good fats in that morning meal will help you to get rid of that, inshallah. And it will really keep you going, you'll find. Okay, now tip number 6, you might find this one a little bit strange, but it's really something that you can think about. Okay, so what I want you to do is, if you do find yourself having cravings, like really strong cravings, because this is what many people who give up sugar struggle with, those cravings, those feelings that you get are just gnawing away at you, right? And next Saturday, inshallah, we'll be doing a deep dive into cravings specifically related to sugar, so you don't want to miss that one, inshallah. But what I want you to do is, if that is something that affects you, is to sit down and just make a list of non-food desserts. Okay, so by this, what I mean is things that you enjoy doing. Okay, so it could be something like going for a walk, it could be reading, it could be exercising, it could be journaling, soaking your feet, whatever it is, right? But something that's not related to food, that you can go away when you're thinking, I'm trying to give up sugar here. I don't want to go and just sit down and have tea and biscuits right now. Go and do something else. So if you have this list at hand, or you have these ideas that that yes, I can go away and do this for a while, then I really want you to try and do that, inshallah. Just to give yourself something else to do even. And the final tip, which I probably think is the most important, and it's simple. Again, this is free, right? This is not going to cost you anything to do, inshallah, and that is to give yourself quality sleep. And I'm going to say that again, quality sleep. It's not about the quantity, okay? Because each of us are individual, and in a sense, we all need, some of us can do well with about 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe 7, and some of us may need slightly more, right? So it's not about the amount of time, it's about the quality of your sleep, okay? And we did have a previous bite-size lecture on that, and it was called what is more important than diet and nutrition combined? And yes, sleep is more important than diet and exercise combined. So nutrition and exercise combined, sleep is more important than that, both of them together. Because what happens is, right, if you haven't slept well, right, your body is completely out of balance, and you will crave caffeine, you will crave sugar, you will crave junk foods just to get you through that day, okay? It also causes your blood sugar levels to rise, okay? And it can cause you to lose the willpower to even make good food choices, okay? So I consider quality sleep to be one of the pillars of good health, okay? And it will definitely contribute to true healing. And you cannot achieve it without quality sleep. So I hope that those simple 7 tips have got you something to think about, inshallah, in terms of really trying to survive without sugar in your lives. And I'd be interested to know in the chat if anyone here has attempted to give up sugar, and have they been successful. You can send me a private message if you don't wish to put it in the group. I'm just going to go to the questions right now. What about raw cane sugar? I'm so addicted to sugar. I find when I go on a diet, I can never fully give up sweet things. So what I do, what I do is overdose on so-called good sugar, fruits and honey. Okay, I mean, alhamdulillah, you know, that is a step, but to kind of stick to it long term, you kind of have to really detox. So this means removing it, okay, completely, just to kind of reset your body, just to kind of give it a bit of a break even. And you know, you can have sweet things, you can have desserts with, you know, whole foods. You can sweeten things that way, and honey, alhamdulillah, we know is from the sunnah too, right? Okay, so it's not bad. Raw cane sugar, again, the thing with things like raw cane sugar, coconut sugar, and even like rapadura, you may have heard of, is that they do have all their minerals intact, like they haven't been separated. Things like brown sugar, what they've actually done is they've refined it just as you would refine white sugar, and they've separated it from the molasses and all those things. And what they do is to brown sugar is just mix it back in afterwards. So brown sugar really isn't going to give you anything different, right? Not that much different compared to white refined sugar. Raw cane sugar obviously is raw. It's got, you know, that hasn't happened to it. So in a sense, yes, it's better. But as I mentioned, sugar is sugar. I tend to crave sweet things after my main meal or when my sugar levels drop. I get really unwell, so I need a quick sugar rush. Yeah, so what would you, okay. So in that regards, what I would say is really look at your diet, really look at what you're having first thing in the morning. Now, if there are some of you here who really need that sugar, so really need that caffeine in the mornings, then what I would suggest is that instead of taking it first thing, try to have it after your breakfast. Okay, now that, because there's some studies that have shown that the caffeine can be counterproductive to good health, especially when you're having on an empty stomach. So I would definitely recommend to increase your protein. If you are craving sugar after meals, then that's usually an indication that you haven't had enough good fats at that meal. So things like, you know, avocado, olives, olive oil, you know, butter, even some nuts, okay? These are all good fats, and you want to try to increase them. And I would definitely encourage you to increase your protein levels, because that will truly satisfy you, inshallah. What would you say about white carbs, as most things have sugar in them? Yeah, this is the problem. These refined carbs are basically sugar, okay? So, I mean, when you're going out and you're shopping, right? And you really want to take this seriously, the thing that you can actually do is just not purchase those things which have added sugar in it. So for example, peanut butter, okay? Now you can buy peanut butter with just peanuts in it and salt, which is what it should have. You can make that swap. You can avoid buying the one with added sugar in it, and just taking that small step starts to make a difference in your body, okay? White carbs will turn to sugar, yes. So my advice is obviously try to avoid them. You know, you want to try to get things that are going to really nourish your body, have some more grains in it, this kind of thing. Maimuna, I stopped buying sugar years ago. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, sis. I mean, that's what it's about. You know, once you do start making them changes, and that's what I'm saying, do it slowly, you know, do it step by step. And for any of you who are interested, you know, in working further with me, inshallah, doing things step by step, having someone there to kind of like really guide you, let you know, what route you have to take, reach out, inshallah, send me a DM, send me a message, you know, Instagram, I'm under the handle Health for Wellness Coach. You can send me an email, whatever it is, you know, reach out, inshallah. Because once you make them changes, and I mean slow changes, even for our family, it took years, but we took small changes consistently. So if you've given up white sugar, don't buy it again. You know, give it up, alhamdulillah. take your time if you have to, wean yourself off it, like I said, the step-by-step thing. But once it's finished, don't buy it again, because and that's, you know, like I said, mentioned, one of the tips, if it's in your house, you're going to use it. What about alcohol sugars? Okay, so alcohol sugars like xylitol, stevia, this kind of thing, erythritol. So they are obviously used heavily in, like, you know, keto diets and stuff like that. And there are studies which say, you know, some say that they are okay in a minimal amount. Now, there isn't a lot of safety studies on long-term consumption and large amount consumption of it. So if you were to say to me, hey, okay, you know, this has a cup of sugar in it in this recipe for biscuits, can I just use a cup of xylitol? I wouldn't advise you to do that in large amounts. It's not something that has been looked at. And you have to remember, it is about 10 times sweeter than normal sugar. Okay, so if you are going to do it, it should be really moderate, not a lot, and just be careful, like with the kids as well. Although I don't buy sugar, I'm not convinced that I don't. Yes, absolutely, it is hidden in so many products, like things you wouldn't even, you know, realize. And that's why in my program, which is where we go through, you know, a whole kind of section on how you can buy products without even having to read every single label. You know, and that's my lean. It's called the Lean program, and we cover a whole section on shopping. Because listen, who's got time? You've got your little one having a bit of a moan, right? You've got the other older one saying they want to go home, and you want to be reading every single, you know, the ingredients on every single product. It's just not possible. So, you know, I should give you methods and strategies on how you can just literally glance at that product, and you know whether you should be buying it or not. And yes, that is what we want to avoid. You know, crackers, they don't need to have sugar. Like soup, it doesn't really need sugar. Why does it have the sugar in it, right? We can do without it, and it doesn't make that much of a difference in taste. Okay. Also, are sweeteners worse than sugars? If you're talking about things like I can't remember, Splendor, right? Splendor, and those kind of things, they are artificial sweeteners, and yes, you want to avoid them. Aspartame, you might see them on like the zero, the products which are called like the zero Coke and stuff like that. They will tend to have aspartame in it, and yes, they are worse than actual sugars. You can buy nuts and yes, absolutely, you can buy your own nuts and make your own peanut butter and this kind of thing, absolutely. And it should only be 2, maybe 3 ingredients max, nothing more than that. A lot of products have replaced sugar with sweetness because of that. Yeah, exactly. That Jamila, Jazakallah khair. Yes, so to avoid that tax, they've added these sweeteners, but it's actually not very good for your body at all. I'm addicted to sugar and cocoa as well. I use raw sugar, jaggery dates, banana molasses, but I have a breastfeeding baby. Okay, diaper rash has forced me to give up sugar as I strongly suspect a yeast infection. Your tips are useful. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah, barakallah fiki. I'm really glad to hear that they've been beneficial to you. It's really good to hear that you've noticed that, and you know, you've taken those steps. Yeah, breastfeeding, you are going to have those needs, you know, that feeling that, hey, you know, I do need more because your body is consuming more. But yes, having those nutrient dense things into your diet will definitely help you and baby, inshallah. Next question. What about xylitol? Yeah, so I think I've just mentioned about xylitol, same thing. You don't want to go crazy with it. Is it okay to bake with honey instead of sugar? Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't heat honey. And I've even read somewhere, obviously you don't want to be heating your raw honey because you're just going to be killing all those beneficial enzymes in them. What I tend to do if I have to use honey in a recipe is let it cool down. So we sometimes use it on our granola. We let everything cool down, and we'll just drizzle some on top. Even if you've made like cake or biscuits, you have to obviously wait for it to cool down before you use it, because it can actually, instead of being beneficial, you can actually have it causing harm if you're going to be, you know, really heating up that honey, because it isn't something you should be doing. Yes, artificial sugars. What I have noticed is that if I manage to be off sugar for a few days, but have it as a little treat, then the reaction happens again. Yeah, so that's definitely your body giving you an indication. This is, we really need to listen to us, to ourselves, and be in touch with our bodies, because it constantly gives us clues. It constantly gives us information. So you can see that that's a problem. So inshallah, just keep it out of your diet, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. What do you say about the keto diet? Okay, I mean, I in personally, as my own personal opinion, I don't really hold up any diet to be the way that we should eat. What I personally do is take benefit from each of them: keto, paleo, the whole 30, whatever it is, right? The many diets that are out there today, because we're all really individual. So keto may work for you, and it may work for your sister or your neighbor, but it may not work for someone else. And one thing that I do like some elements of keto, no doubt, but what I do say to sisters when they do want to take this on is that you have to remember, is your body ready for keto? Okay, and I don't think many people think about this. When you're introducing a keto diet, you have to remember that you're suddenly, maybe quite drastically, increasing your good fats. Okay. Now, if you've already had a number of digestive issues, it may not be a good idea to go deep dive into something like keto, because your body just may not be able to cope. Okay, if you're having, like I said, issues digesting, stomach pain, this kind of thing, when you're eating, then really that needs to be investigated a bit further. So yeah, I would say, if you've got any kind of digestive issues, then you can really look at reconsidering keto. And just, there's many ways that we can really improve our health, okay, and include nutrient dense foods in our diet. But it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't need to have a name or a label for us to do it. For example, simple things like liver, right, which is fairly cheap. Okay, some people don't like it, but you can start slowly. And things like sleep, things like moving more, things like exposing our skin, as much as we can, obviously being covered in hijab and stuff, and our eyes to natural light. All of these things don't cost us anything and don't really require us to have that much effort, or to make a huge drastic change. Okay, so those have to be all included when you're thinking about a healthy eating diet, and a way to really improve your health. What's the best food to satisfy a sweet craving? Oh, good question. I think that's quite individual. But I do believe, when you have cut out sugar, I'll give you an example. Last month, the beginning of last month, I had my first 5-day reset with a lovely group of sisters. Now, I would say the majority of those sisters, maybe nearly all of them, had never ever done a detox before. They've never removed from their diet the main allergen causing foods. So here I'm talking about gluten, dairy, and sugar. Okay, they'd never ever done that. One of the sisters there was quite addicted to chocolate. Okay, and she struggled the first couple of days. And that's what tends to happen. She had, I think, a bit of a stressful day or a stressful situation. She was like, wow, okay, I need some chocolate. And that's what tends to happen. We have a stressful situation, we haven't slept well, something's gone wrong, and we just tend to fall back on a sweet craving. Okay. But by the end of the 5 days, because my reset is only 5 days, she was amazed with the fact that she had gone that many days after so many years of having chocolate every single day. She was so amazed that she could now go through 2-3 days without even thinking about it. So when we actually give our bodies a break, because it's not always just about cutting things out, and actually start including nutrients dense foods into our body and giving it what it actually needs, our bodies tend to balance themselves out. So, if you're thinking about, okay, what can I have as a healthy, sweet thing? I would say stick to whole fruits. So, for example, go out of your comfort zone a bit. Try a dessert with sweet potato. Try a dessert with butternut squash. Try a dessert with dates. Us as a family, alhamdulillah, like we enjoy just dates and some dark chocolate, some dates and some cacao nibs, right? But you want to not just, even just with fruits, okay? Because some people think, oh, you know what, I'll just do all of this and just replace it all with fruits. Now, when you're just having fruits, it's just sugar too, even though alhamdulillah, there's everything else, other things in there, there's fiber in there, it's the whole fruit, right? But it's like if you notice, if you just give your kids fruits, just fruits, you might give them a banana, an apple, orange, whatever, right? And it's quite a big bowl. They will be back after maybe an hour. Now, if you combine that with some protein, that's going to last a bit longer. So whatever you're having as a sweet dish, combine it with some protein and fat even, and that will help you really satisfy the craving, and it will take your body through a bit longer. So, like for example, if you're giving, like when I give my daughter fruits, I'll maybe give her some plain yogurt along with it, some peanut butter, something like that. Is it okay to have dates every day to overcome the sugar addiction? Dates are good, but again, dried fruits, remember, do have a higher sugar content than fresh. And alhamdulillah, dates are from the sunnah. I would just say, just don't go crazy. I mean, if you're going to be having 20 dates a day to overcome the sugar addiction, that isn't going to be great. I need to sort out my diet, especially sugar. Yes, I mean, this is the first step, Alicia. Absolutely. It's that mental barrier. Okay. And the sisters who were on the 5-day reset, they said to me, I didn't think I could do this. I was scared to take these steps. Right. But we have to, if we don't make these changes, right, and if we constantly think, well, I'm scared to do this, I can't do this, you're not going to change from where you were last year. Okay, you were scared last year, you didn't do anything, and you're still where you are now, right? We have to really trust that, alhamdulillah, we have an amazing system. Our bodies are amazing. What Allah has given us is a huge blessing, and we need to preserve that. We need to look after it. We need to take care of it. We don't want to wait for an illness that is really severe before we start saying, hey, you know what? I need help now. I want to do something about it now. Because maybe at that point, it'll be too late. Maybe at that point, we'll be struggling. Okay. And we know from Islam, there's so many things in the deen which tell us prevention is better than cure. Health and free time are two blessings that people waste. So, we are the pillars of our houses. Yeah, the mothers are. Everything tends to fall on our shoulders. The husband, the kids, the house, right? We need to give ourselves some grace. We need to give ourselves some time. And this is why this is only 5 days, because in 5 days, you'll be amazed at what you can have achieved with your health, right? And it's not just your health, with that mental barrier, right? That you think, I can't do this. I can't do this. You can, inshallah. Okay. You just have to take that first step. And, some of us do have health goals. I want to lose this weight. I want to be stronger. I want my skin to be better. And we look up and it's like a mountain, right? But can you just see that first step in front of you? Yes, you can. That first step would be joining a supported program even. That first step for you might be, okay, you know what? Let me remove the sugar from my diet. So just take that first step, okay? Is it okay to detox or do your 5-day reset? Yes, there was a sister who was breastfeeding. It is totally supportive of breastfeeding and pregnant women. And, we go through the advice in terms of like listening to your body in terms of, obviously you will have to make sure you are eating enough because you are going to get hungrier. But on our 5-day reset, there's no portion control. There is nothing where you have to weigh out your meals or count your calories. It's nothing like that at all. You can, in fact, eat as much as you want. And sisters who did that, I believe there was at least 4 sisters who told me that, yes, I've lost weight in 5 days. So it is 100% possible. So is the natural state of the body not to have sweet cravings? Look, we are designed to enjoy sweet things, okay? Because breast milk is sweet, and that's the first food of babies, right? We gravitate towards sweet things. The people of the past, the cavemen, those first people, they enjoyed honey, but it wasn't something that they would have access to all the times, right? It wasn't always available. It was difficult to get to, okay? And even fruits. I was reading some research on the fruits that we tend to have available today. It isn't really like the fruits that you would find in the wild. The fruits in the wild sometimes tend to be, you may have noticed this if you've ever picked berries from outside or you've had them growing, they're not always sweet. Sometimes they'll be a bit tart in their flavor, a bit, tangy even, right? So sweet, any sort of cravings that you have, because people sometimes have cravings for salty things. Yeah, people sometimes have cravings for carbs. Each of these things is your body telling you something. And it may be when people tend to crave chocolate, it's usually like what you're craving is something that's in the cacao. And raw cacao is very, very nutritious. It's one of the prized foods out there. It used to be something that people would trade with. That's how beneficial it was and highly regarded. And it's very rich in magnesium. So sometimes you're craving the element or the mineral or the vitamin that you are missing. Okay, I thought fruit should be eaten on an empty stomach by themselves. Is it healthy to combine fruits with protein fats for kids? Yes, you can combine them, sis. And yes, so when I do give my kids fruits on an empty stomach, they do have it like first thing, and it will be combined with something, inshallah. Is it okay to use alcohol sugars to transition, or better to cold turkey? Well, honestly, sis, some people they do fine on a cold turkey. They're able to completely cut it out, and they find that system works for them. For some, it won't work. For some, they will really struggle. If you're using the xylitol in moderation, then inshallah, it's not too much of a problem. But I would advise, if you can transition using whole fruits instead, then maybe that would be better. But in moderation, inshallah, it shouldn't be problematic. Okay, so I just wanted to mention over here, for those of you, who may be interested, inshallah, I do have a new 5-day reset beginning on the 7th of February. So, if you really do want to kick sugar to the curb, and it's something that you've always struggled with, you've just given up, then I'd like to invite you to my 5-day reset. The reason why this will be more successful for you, the system that we have there, is because you're going to be detoxing with others. You're not doing this on your own, right? There are going to be other sisters with you on the journey. Alhamdulillah, we have a few sisters there already, ready to go. You'll be able to support each other. You'll be able to, hold each other to account. You'll get ideas from other sisters. And that's what was really brilliant. I mean, sisters were sharing, what they were having for dessert without using sugar. These were sisters, and this is completely for beginners. You will eliminate gluten, dairy, sugar, and a few other things that are mainly the common allergens. If you'd like more information sent to your inbox, then you can click this link, which I'm going to put in the chat right now. And the information will be sent to you. Yeah, there is Atika, inshallah. Oh, sorry. I'll send it to everyone. Right. There we go. So you can click that link, inshallah, and put your information in. Like I said, we are beginning on the 7th of February, and there is a time-sensitive offer on this. But just to let you know, this is a 5-day reset for beginners, and it's different from other programs because we focus on real whole foods. And as I mentioned, there's no portion control. You can eat as much as you want. What we're trying to do is help you to take this long term. Okay, this isn't just about 5 days and then throw everything out the window. Alhamdulillah, I spoke to one of the sisters who were on it just a couple of days ago, and it's now been around 3 weeks since she's completed her first ever reset. She was breastfeeding. She has 2 other children. She's never ever done anything like this before, and she's still on it. Allahumma barik. She said she's reduced so much gluten, hardly has sugar. She feels great. She's been including things that we had in the plan, and she has actually lost weight. She feels amazing, and she's saying she's hoping to carry on and implement these changes with her children too. So the recipes that you get, because you will get everything, you don't have to think about this at all. You can use them again and again. So this reset is perfect if you find at the moment your eating habits are completely off track. Your body's feeling sluggish, you're tired all the time, and you just feel, you know what, now is the time to hit that reset button. Okay, the program is just 5 days. Okay, and it's really a great way to get into better habits in less than a week. Okay, and it's not just about eating. Okay, there's going to be other information in there to let you know how to have long-term good health, inshallah. What kind of results can you expect? You'll be cleaning up your diet and focusing on healthy, tasty foods, whole grains, lean proteins, and lots of cleansing vegetables. You'll be able to kick your sugar habit to the curb, inshallah. You'll be able to get back on track with your eating habits in a way that doesn't leave you feeling hungry or deprived. And that's one of the things the sister said. They thought that they would have to, it'd be like some juice cleanse. But they were so amazed that they didn't feel hungry at all. They didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm starving. And inshallah, you'll be able to lose some weight and keep it off. So just to the nitty gritty, what do you get? So you'll have a 5-day meal plan with recipes that taste amazing. And you're not just going to get, I think I counted it just the other night, and it was over 20 recipes, snack ideas, breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, right? There's more than you actually need there. There'll be a live training call before where I'll outline exactly how you can prepare so you won't find yourself stuck in the kitchen all week. This isn't designed for, just some individual single person. This is designed for busy moms, right? Moms like you and me, okay? And women who are even working. We had sisters who were there and they were working in schools, they were working in hospitals, and they still managed to successfully do this. Okay, so there's dozens of ideas there. And also at the end, there'll be another live call, and that will give you all that you need to know, so so you can be prepared for what to do next. I'm not just going to leave you in the lurch, just right, okay, 5 days done, goodbye. No, I'm going to give you what you need to carry this on long term, because look, I'm on a mission this year, inshallah, to really help 100 families, 100 busy mums really transform their health and that of their families and their future generations, inshallah. So you get a done for you daily protocol. This spells out exactly what you have to do and when, so you don't have to wonder what's next. Okay, literally from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep, everything's laid out for you. You'll be in a group with others where you can connect with me and other detoxers to get all the support you need so you can stick with this to the end. And many of you may have tried to do this on your own. It's lonely, it's a struggle, right, to be able to do something like this on your own. And this is why we're going to be in a group, inshallah, to help each other and to support each other. And I'll be doing this with you too. What you also get is a complete shopping list. So when I said to you, this is done for you, I mean it's done for you. You don't really have to think about this at all. You're going to get a full shopping list. You can just simply hit print, Go to Tesco, pick up what you need, and boom, you're ready to go, inshallah. You'd also get a supplement guide. Okay, so if you want to take this detox quite deep, you can also add supplements throughout the 5 days, inshallah, and I'll be explaining to you what you need, exactly what you need to be taking and at what time of day. Now, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, you can skip that part. And if you don't want to take supplements, that's completely fine too. That is an optional element. You'll also get a Deepen Your Detox handbook, so you can really personalize this experience. Okay, so this is what some of the other sisters were saying. I just wanted to give you some really short reviews on it. The sister mentioned, I realized that cutting down sugar wasn't as hard as I thought. Okay, so she'd never ever cut sugar out of her diet before, this sister, and she, she really thought it was something that she was going to struggle with, and alhamdulillah, it wasn't. This sister mentioned, I mentioned her before, I've reduced chocolate or I don't have it at all, and this is a big achievement for me. It was so simple to follow. I didn't feel like I was starving, and I actually lost weight. Another sister mentioned that she lost a whopping 4 pounds in 5 days. Okay. Jazakallah khair for all the recipes and the support. Without them and you, I wouldn't be able to get through it. So alhamdulillah, Allahumma barik, very well received. These sisters were exactly the same position that you were in, and they did it. So this group 5-day reset, it actually begins on Monday, the 7th of February, right? I've got it at this special time-sensitive offer, which ends on the 31st of January at midnight. So that's Monday, I believe. And the reason why we've got it at this date is because I want to get you onboarded. I want to get you enrolled. I want to send off the information to you so you can start reading through, start preparing yourselves, because mentally, inshallah, you have to get yourself there too. And, looking at the shopping lists and start, organizing which recipes you want to do. This is why I want to give you at least, a good 5 or so days to be able to do that. All of this material and the actual, direct coaching from myself is worth even more than £150 that I've mentioned here. But this early bird special price of £95 for this will end on the 31st of January at midnight. Okay, so if this sounds like, what, I want to do this right now, I'm ready for this, then I'm going to put my PayPal link into the chat, and you can just click on it, inshallah, and complete the transaction, and all the information will be sent to you, inshallah. At the end of the day, we're always going to be able to make back money, ladies. Okay, don't look at it at the price and be put off. But we're never going to be able to get our health back, and this is just sorry about that. My connection just went a bit wild there. Do apologize. So, Jazakallah khair for being patient with me. Okay. So, right. Okay. So we're back on now. Yeah. So as I was saying, ladies, £95. It's not nothing that's going to really break the bank, inshallah. You're always going to be able to make more money, but you're not going to be able to get your time and your health back. So, are you able to see my screen or no? I can't see the chat box right now.
No, I can't see your screen, Opti.
Okay, let me see what. Okay, here we go. Right, so you've had all the information, you've had some great tips today that you can take away and implement, and really you've got 2 choices here. You can take all the information that you've got today, and I really hope and pray that it was a benefit to everyone. And I really appreciate those of you who have been here from the beginning and been wonderful listeners. Allahumma barik, really appreciate you supporting me. But you have 2 choices. You can take this information, start implementing it at your own pace, okay, without any support, doing it yourself like you've always done. You may even forget about it after a while and be in the same position that you were previously, or you can take this opportunity, you know, alhamdulillah, you're here for a reason. قدر الله ما شاء فعل, you know, you're here, you jumped onto the live, you know, and you've been really super with that. And you can take this opportunity that's fallen in your laps.
I'm gonna make us tell you, Bernanda, okay?
Atika, your mic is off.
Oh,
No worries. So you can take this opportunity that's fallen in your lap with both hands, really kickstart your health journey once and for all. Take care of yourself, not wait for that illness to happen. The choice is completely yours. And I'm happy that you're here and, you know, you've listened to the tips, inshallah. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you have any further questions or information, or you'd like to, you know, work with me long term, you can more than reach out to me here at info@healthforwellnesscoach.com. And if you do jump onto the program, then I really look forward to meeting you inside the private Facebook or WhatsApp group, and, you know, just helping you get through this, inshallah, and being a success and transforming you once and for all, inshallah, for the long term, not just for the sprint, for the marathon, inshallah. So if anyone has any further questions, oh, sorry, sis, you asked about why should we eliminate gluten and dairy, right? Okay, so gluten, dairy, and sugar, they are the main inflammation causing, they're the main, you know, allergen causing elements that we tend to find for many people. And when you actually remove these things from your diet, it's like you're giving your digestive system, your whole body, a rest, a break. Okay, and as I mentioned, it's not just about pulling things out. Our whole reset and program is designed to also put things in, things that are really nourishing, things that are really cleansing, and you'll be amazed at how you feel at the end of the 5 days. And like I said, after the 5 days, I give you support and advice, and I explain to you exactly how you can include these things back into your diet, but at a gentle pace, the things that you need to look out for to maybe make you realize, hold on a second, I'm having an issue with dairy here, or, you know what, gluten isn't really suiting me well. Okay, and you'll be able to do that, because many people, they know they have issues, right? They may have digestive discomfort, they may have a skin issue, but they've never ever removed gluten, dairy, or sugar, even for a short period of time. Okay, and so in these 5 days, you know, you will experience things that you maybe never experienced before. And you'll be able to realize, hold on a second, maybe these things aren't serving my body well, they're not helping me. So, you know what, I'm going to look forward to keeping these out of my diet long term. Okay, last question. Barakallah feek, sis. No worries at all. I really appreciate you being here. And yeah, so if you're ready to jump on, ladies, you have all the information. If you have further questions, you're more than welcome to send me a WhatsApp, a Facebook group message. Does it include stopping rice? Mahmoud, okay, this was a bit of a struggle. You can have brown rice, okay? In the plan, you can have brown rice. And it's not that unpleasant. If you've never had it before, it's really not, alhamdulillah. You know, I give you an exact recipe that is so simple, that you can, you know, use to make, inshallah. And you can have other grains, you know, quinoa, you know, other things, inshallah, that I mentioned. But white rice is not included in it. But it's only 5 days, sis. I'm sure, inshallah, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, you can do it for 5 days, and you'll be amazed to see how you feel afterwards. Any further questions? I can hear someone has their mic open. Maimuna, you have a question, sis? Maybe it was a mistake, because I can't. Okay, there we go. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so if there are no further questions, like I said, Jazakallah khair for everyone for being here live on Zoom and also in Clubhouse. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with me here today. Does it include white yogurt? You can have dairy-free yogurt, sis, because in the plan there's no yogurt. But as I mentioned, you're not left in the lurch. There's no guessing as to what you need to have and what you don't. Everything is provided for you. Recipes, ideas, you know, and nothing is set in stone. You are able to tweak them as you know, as you like. There were some sisters who were like, yeah, I love this recipe, but I needed more chili, so she added that in, and that's absolutely acceptable. Barakallah fiki, sis, and you too. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, ladies, like I said, I would love to see as many of you go through this as possible, because it's just that realization. You know, sometimes we just think that we can't do it. We think, you know, that it's really difficult. But my whole mission is to show mums, look, you know what, healthy eating is really simple. You know, there's a lot of confusion out there, but look, I'm going to debunk all this confusion. I'm going to, you know, clear the air for you and show you that healthy eating is really simple and you can do it long term. You know, so these 5 days of having support, you know, being, you know, with others who are your cheerleaders, you realize, hold on a second, you know what, it's not as complicated as I thought it would be. And if there's sisters who are there breastfeeding, working in busy environments, you know, and getting themselves together to do it, then I'm sure, inshallah, you know, if they can do it, you can do it too. Jazakallah khair, sis. Barakallah feek, to you all too. And I'll see you on the program if you join. And if not, inshallah, I will be here next Saturday. And as I mentioned, we'll be doing a deep dive into sugar cravings, okay, the actual cravings. I'll be giving you some really good tips on how to battle them, inshallah. And I'll see you then. Take care, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.